What's up, everybody? I'm Sonny the Badger, and welcome to my Friday free ride. So every Friday, I take you on a ride with me, and we talk about motorcycle stuff. And on this week's episode, we're going to talk about the world's most hated Harley Davidson. Any guesses what that is? All right. If you haven't guessed it yet, or you have, you would be correct. It's the Harley Davidson vrod. So most of you guys know, about 3 months ago, I bought this vrod 2004 Harley Davidson vrod. I bought it for a steal of a deal. But honestly, I wasn't shopping for a vrod, although I had always said I wanted to get one and add it to my collection, because now that they don't make them anymore, 20 years from now, everybody's gonna be like, you remember that bike Harley made? You know, the fast one that they teamed up with Porsche? The vrod. People are gonna be looking for it. In fact, they're getting kind of hard to find now. But anyway, so I've owned it for about 3 months. Even though I worked at Harley Davidson and I demo rode a few, I never spent any real time riding a Harley Davidson vrod. So the funny thing is, all of you that follow my channel, seems like every time I run into you or talk to one of you, the question always is, how's that vrod? What do you think of the vrod? So I thought I'd let you know what I think about it. Also guys, if you like motorcycle content like this, please help our channel out. Hit that subscribe button. You can ring the bell and be notified every time we upload a new video. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and be sure to leave us a comment, because we respond to them all. Anyway, back to what I think about the vrod. First off, the vrod doesn't look anything like a Harley. Matter of fact, in my opinion, it doesn't look like any other motorcycle out there. It just has its kind of own way of looking. In fact, Mama Badger is doing her review of the vrod this Sunday on Badass Sundays with Mama Badger, and she had a few choice words about it. So you'll have to check out her video this Sunday on the same channel. You'll get a woman's perspective of the Harley Davidson vrod. But anyway, it doesn't look like any other Harley Davidson out there. It doesn't look like any other motorcycle, for the fact of that matter. It's a lot quieter. It's a lot smoother. It doesn't just shake the crap out of you when you're sitting at a stoplight. It is liquid cooled, although I will say this. I've ridden this in the heat of summer, and even though it's liquid cooled, when I'm sitting at a stoplight, it is no cooler than my air-cooled Fat Boy. In fact, it may even be a little bit hotter. So if you thought, oh, vrod liquid cool, it'll be a lot cooler, it's not. That myth is busted. As I said, it's a lot quieter, a lot smoother. It's also a lot faster, a lot more responsive. When you hit the accelerator, you take off. As you can see, it red lines. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it red lines at 9,000 RPMs. And it'll go all the way up there with no problem at all. I'll show you what it's like sitting on it as well in this little clip here. I had switched with Mama Badger and I had her record me riding it from a side perspective so I could kind of point out some of the fitment pieces. So this is a weird experiment, guys. You can see me because I'm on Angie's helmet talking to you, and I've got her on my helmet so she can talk. Yeah, it's weird. I'm gonna struggle with this. All right, guys. So if this is working the way we planned, you're looking kind of at the back right side of me so that you can actually see how the bike fits. So it's got a relatively aggressive stance as far as the handlebars go, which I like, because if you've seen my Fat Boy, I have drag bars on my Fat Boy. So I actually like that stance. So that's pretty comfortable. And you can see I'm kind of in a V. Now I don't know if that's where Harley actually came up with the name vrod, but now that I think about it, that's kind of ingenious. Because your legs go out here on the pegs, and then your arms go out, so you are generally in a V. So I'm like 5'8". This bike fits me really well. But as you can see, if you want to stretch out, you can just throw your legs out over the pegs and go with a full stretch. So it's a pretty comfortable fitting bike. The factory seat is okay. If I were going to ride it a lot, I would probably want to find a different seat. And I just hope and pray that this whole thing turned out, our little experiment, because what's going on is Mama Badger is wearing my camera, so I'm talking to you, but she's filming, so I don't know what she's looking at as she's filming, and vice versa. So this will be an interesting experiment that we're gonna try. Tell me what you think about it. Those of you that saw my first video when I got it, if you haven't seen that, I'll link it up here in the video. You may have noticed that there was a windshield on it and I took the windshield off. I realized that the windshield did absolutely zero good. So that's the other thing about a vrod. You're gonna ride a vrod, ideally a full face helmet. This half shell helmet I wear just isn't ideal for being on a vrod, especially if you get caught in the rain. Another thing about the vrod is it's way lighter than my Fat Boy. And if it's not way lighter, it sure feels way lighter. Maybe balanced better, I don't know, but it does feel way, way lighter. The good part of that is it's lighter, easier to handle, and way faster. The bad part of that, this is definitely not a highway bike. If you get out on the highway around semi-trucks, dump trucks, and the like, they will throw you all over the place. The first time I took this on the highway with Mama Badger leading, she even made a comment, "You okay? You're all over the road." And the wind it all does, it just kind of whips you all over the road. So that's one thing I do not like about the vrod. But it wasn't designed to be a highway bike. This vrod has, I believe it's a 3.5 gallon gas tank, which is under the seat, which is also something different for Harley. And it gets about 130 to 150 miles per tank. And I know a lot of people are like, I want a 5 gallon tank. I ride a lot, as you guys know. About 120 to 140 miles is a good stopping point for me anyway when I'm riding cross country. That's about perfect time to stop, get gas, stretch, get a drink. So for me, the 3.5 gallon tank isn't a big deal. Although They do make bigger tanks, aftermarket tanks that you can put on these, I found online. So that's the other thing. Since they don't make V-rods anymore, it seems that at least the factory parts are harder to come by. But there are quite a few aftermarket companies that make some cool products for these. From these covers, to handlebars, to seats, to full body kits. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to your V-rod. And the V-rods are really big in the European market. There are some really cool looking ones if you go search online. And it seems like most of them are from the European market. Honestly, guys, my 3-month review is the V-rod's a great bike. It's one of the most durable bikes that Harley built. It's fun to ride. It's fast. It'll get out of its own way for sure. And it's a ton of fun to ride. So after 3 months, I definitely like it. Fortunately, I have other bikes to ride for other things. So for my long trips, the V-rod's not for it. For ripping around town, having a good time, that ultimately to me is what the V-rod's built for. Or taking it to the drag strip. You can definitely build a drag bike out of it. So, in wrap up of this, if you're looking at getting a V-rod, or you always wanted a V-rod, if you look around hard enough, there are still some pretty good deals out there on them, but I have a feeling that's going to go away. Eventually, these are going to start jumping up in price because they're going to be really, really hard to get your hands on. And since Harley doesn't make them anymore, they're going to be that rare bike. So if you can get your hands on one and you can afford to just hang on to it, I recommend. All right, guys, there's my review of the world's most hated Harley Davidson. Thanks for riding with me today. And remember, Mama Badger's going to have her review this Sunday in her Badass Sunday with Mama Badger. So go check that out. And remember, guys, it's not about the destination. It's all about the ride. See ya!